Pro gaming peripherals, do they actually make you better at games? Is there even a need for you to get better at games to have fun? And how much do you need to invest before you can get better? Like many of you who are watching right now, I have also fallen into the rabbit hole, wasting thousands of dollars into gaming peripherals thinking that their price to performance was fair. But recently I was proven wrong, and the regret has never hit so hard. Before we start, I've just started this YouTube channel with the intention to feature more gadgets that are worth your money. It will really help if you can drop me a like and subscribe. Or if you have any comments or feedback, please do drop them below. Okay, now back to the content. It all started when my old mouse died. I wanted a reliable and long-lasting replacement that I can use for both work and games. I do a lot of video editing and design related stuff, so I needed a mouse that was extremely precise on small movements, given my usual DPI is in the 3100 to 3200 range. The first mouse that came to my mind was the GPX Superlight 2. However, I had extremely bad experience with Logitech products before. And furthermore, the cost for the GPX Superlight is too steep for my liking. So after spending several months trying out different cheaper mice, but nothing really clicked for me. After digging around on YouTube and Reddit for reviews and browsing on Taobao, I realized this. A good gaming mouse average cost is about $35. So with the initial budget I've allocated for the GPX Superlight 2, I wanted to see how many mice can I buy with $150. It's 5. 3 standard shapes and 2 ergos. One of them was an extremely close clone of the GPX Superlight 2, but better in many ways. So here are my loots. The ATK A9 Pro Max, the VXE R1 Neuralink, the Hekate G3M Pro Upgraded, the Rapul VT3S V2, and lastly the Deluxe M900 Mini Pro. Each average around $30 inclusive of shipping. You can take a look at my shots for all their individual unboxing. My initial impression of these mice were, wow, they don't feel any different from a mouse that costs over $100. Prior to my quest for a perfect mouse, I was using the following mice. The Keychron M6, the Pulsar X-Lite V3 Large, the Lamzu Atlantis, this is the OG V1, and I do have the MX Master 3S, which is already dead, and lastly the glorious Model D, which is also dead and I threw it away. So the Keychron M6 was the trigger that embarked me on the search for a cheap yet reliable mouse. To avoid overextending my search, I set 4 criteria for a perfect mouse. First, the mouse will need to have a battery that can last for about 2 full weeks on a single charge. Second, the mouse will need to have Bluetooth connection. And third, the mouse will need to fit my hand and grip style perfectly. And lastly, the weight of 50 to 60 grams. And that is why I thought the GPX would be a perfect choice. Until I did my research, that is. Upon widening my search range beyond the usual few gaming brands, I was surprised to see that there were so damn many clones of the GPX. On top of that, they were a hell lot cheaper too. They say you pay for what you get. But let's find out if that is really true about these recent mice. Or is it that you have been overpaying for some peripherals all along? I won't be going into details for each mouse here, there will be separate clips for them. Instead, I'll be giving an overall impression and comparison in this video. First off, the ATK A9 Pro Max. Coming in at $33, 60 gram, 3395 Ultra sensor, 800 mAh battery. This is an almost perfect GPX Superlight clone, but better. How so? First of all, it's 2 grams lighter, comes with Bluetooth connection, larger battery, additional mouse fit, comes with free grip tape, clicks feel great. It also comes with an 8K dongle, and on top of that, it's 1/5 the price. That said, I would suggest getting the Plus version instead due to my personal preference. I prefer the app switch encoder over TTC ones. After 5 full days of extensive use on Bluetooth, I have about 77% battery remaining, which means it is estimated that this thing can last over a month on a single charge. Overall ratings 8.5 out of 10. Next up, the Hekate G3M Pro Upgraded. I love this color. Costing only at $30, this thing weighs 56 grams. It has a 3395 sensor with 600 mAh battery. This is a very unique mouse that can switch between silent and tactile switches while maintaining a weight of sub 60 grams. Its shape is almost identical to the Lamzu Maya. After 5 days of usage, I have about 60% battery left, which means this thing should be able to last about 2 full weeks on a single charge. 8 out of 10. Third to the test is the Rapul VT3S V2. This is the most expensive one out of the bunch at $36. Weighing at 55 grams, it has a very ambiguous battery indication. On the label, it says 350 mAh. But someone did a teardown and claiming it was 800 mAh. Regardless, Rapu claimed that it will last about 500 hours. The biggest downside of this is that it doesn't have Bluetooth. Shape-wise, it is a 95% perfect fit for my hand. But due to the side shell having a bit of a creaking issue, this mouse doesn't score very high. After 4 days of extensive use, I managed to get it to about 73% in battery. So perhaps the battery really is 800 mAh. I don't know. 6 out of 10. Not recommended due to quality control issue and information discrepancy. Next is the Deluxe M900 Mini Pro. This is a $24 mouse. It shares a very similar shape to the VT3S, though it felt lower. Build-wise and comfort-wise, I have very little to complain about. However, the clicks is something that I have issues with. This may be subjective, but due to the short travel distance of the left and right clicks, I was unable to spam the clicks consistently. It requires me to lift my index finger a tad bit higher in order to do so. Scrolling experience is also not to my liking. It is like that feeling of rotating a cog with its teeth sent down to the minimum. Not faulty, but intentional. Yet again, this mouse doesn't have Bluetooth. Coating felt fine, but very typical of the powdered coating for plastic mouse. I'm actually very disappointed by the battery life on this mouse. So after 20 hours of vigorous usage, I'm down to 80%. So that shows that it will last for about 100 to 120 hours. That said, this mouse is incredibly light at 49 grams. I'll give this mouse a 5 out of 10. Last on the list is the VXE R1 Nearlink. For some reason, this thing is the cheapest at $20, and my initial impression of this mouse on my hand is fabulous. It is rock solid. Shape-wise is very similar to the Lamzo Atlantis, which unfortunately is a little too low for my ideal shape. Weighing at 57 grams, there is something about this mouse that feels premium despite its cost. All the buttons were perfect. And it comes with my favorite F-switch encoder, which feels really good to scroll. The Nearlink version comes with the 3395 SE sensor, and this thing comes with Bluetooth too. It doesn't seem like it has any coating on this, it feels like a raw plastic texture instead. But if you don't need the Bluetooth, go for the Pro Max version. VXE claims that the Nearlink version has a 520 mAh battery, but according to my test result of using it a total of 20 hours, which is about 2 days, it is down to 90%. So I concluded that this mouse might last me beyond 2 weeks. Overall, I would give this mouse a 9 out of 10. Okay, so what's the conclusion? Did I manage to get my perfect mouse? No. That said, all of them are perfectly great options that are way beyond their price tags. However, I couldn't give any one of them 100. The VT3S has the most suitable shape, while the VXE R1 score perfectly in every other area. Out of the 5 mouse, if I were to pick one that has the least issue and most comfort, that would be the A9 Pro Max. At the end of the day, I figure that it is absolutely unnecessary to be spending anything above $60 for a mouse. Well, unless you're extremely oriented towards competitive games. For an everyday old Jones like me, a $30 mouse would perfectly suffice. This makes the total cost of all the 5 mouse to be about $143, inclusive of shipping, which I hit my objective of maintaining the cost below $150. And that wraps up the video. If you find the content helpful, please do drop me a like and hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers!